So after modding my own original Xbox console, I thought I would do a tutorial to help you guys mod your own because the tutorials that are out there can be very confusing, miss parts, or just don't include the necessary files. So I'm going to include everything. All links are in the description below. Let's get started. The first thing is you want to go to this GitHub link for Rocky 5 Xbox softmodding tool. This to me seems to be the fastest and easiest method to soft mod an original Xbox. The two things you're going to need hardware wise is this cable right here, which is a USB to controller port. Now there are other options to this. They have special USB keys that plug into the back of your controller where the memory card goes, but I found these to be the cheapest and easiest to get. Almost every Amazon in every country sells these, and they're only about $7 was mine in Canada. The other thing you're gonna need is a game. Oh wow, that didn't work out. I'm gonna be using Splinter Cell, but you can also use 007 Agent Under Fire, Mecha or Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4. The last thing, which I didn't really include because odds are you have one lying around, is a USB key. Now the USB keys, this is where I run into a bit of an issue. Not all of them work. I don't know why or exactly what reason one would work or wouldn't work, but I found for me the best option was to use a USB to SD card adapter, and I just got in there a 4 gig Patriot SD card. That seemed to work the best for me. Anyway, let's go through everything step by step. First step, I'm going to be formatting. There's two ways to format this, but the first step is to format your USB card, your USB key. One way is to plug it directly into the Xbox. The Xbox will tell you that the USB is damaged or your memory card is damaged and will need to be formatted. What a lot of people don't know is the original Xbox memory card is just a USB 1.0 device. So it treats it as a memory card and it will format it for you. You can try this, but it didn't seem to work for me. So what I had to do was use another tool. I used this tool here, the USB-X formatter. So this will be in the description below. I'll give you a link to that, but you can get the Xbox formatter. And I'm just going to be making a folder here to extract it to. FATX formatter, which is FATX is the format that Xbox uses, and I'm just going to drag that in there. Now I'm going to plug my USB into the device. And the reason why I'm telling you to do this step first, and there it is there, it's telling me to format the disk. We're going to click cancel, because we're going to be formatting it ourselves through this application. The reason why I'm telling you to use the USB key first is if you don't got a working USB key, the rest of this is irrelevant. That's the first thing you're going to need to try and get. And once you get that working, once you get a proper USB key functioning, then we can move on to the other steps. So, USB FATX formatter is what I needed to use for mine. The other way didn't work. You want to right click it and run it as administrator. If you don't run it as an administrator, it will not detect any USBs. Or it will detect the USB, but these two buttons here, format USB and quick format USB, won't light up. So that may be an issue. If they don't light up for you, you probably forgot to click open as administrator. So there it is, generic SD USB device. So what we want to do is format the USB. I've only used this USB to mod my Xbox, so there's really nothing on it, but just in case there's something on your USB, you might want to save it onto the computer first. Format, and it's been formatted as FATX. If you click that and it takes longer than it just did, you have an issue. So we want to close that. Now, if you look here on the bottom, it still looks like it's running. It happens when you click run as administrator. So just right click on it and click close window. Now open it again as administrator. And you have to do it this way, trust me. Go back to generic SD and click quick format this time. Now it's going to create a partition header on the drive. And it's just going to create the necessary files and put them in the right positions so that it can be read by the next application. Click yes, and again, it should be instant. And now we can close this application and again, right click on the bottom and close window. Now to test your USB to make sure it's going to work with an Xbox, we're going to go to the second thing to download, which is Xplorer 360. This is where a lot of even Rocky 5's instructions himself don't mention, but you do need this application. This will be the application we will be using to port our save to the USB so that it can be used with the Xbox. Now, this link will also be in the description below. This is the best website I found for downloading this. A lot of the other websites only included the 250 gig version, which does not work. Do not download the 250 gigabyte version. You could download any of the other versions. We're going to go with 0.9 beta 6, I guess, because it seems like it's the newest, judging by added on. Yes, these are very old applications. Just, again, do not download 250 gigabyte edition. It will not read your memory card. This website's a little weird, so we're going to click Enable Download 1. Let the page load, close, wait a second. Enable Download 2. I don't even know if this is necessary. For all I know, you could just wait there and then click the final download button. And there it is, download. Now for me, it never starts automatically, so I have to right click, save link as, and there it is, Xplorer 360 Beta 6. Now, this is normal for Chrome to do, so what you want to do is click there and click keep. Now we're going to open the zip file straight from here, and it's just one application. Drag it to any folder on your computer. I like to keep things clean by keeping all my Xbox OG things in the same folder. And there it is. Now this you don't need to open as administrator. Actually, it's recommended you do not open it as administrator. So we're going to open it up and just make sure our drive is working. Click drive, open, hard drive or mem card, and there it is. It's being detected. Now, to get the files on here that we need, the actual mod, we're going to go to the Rocky 5 soft modding tool. Again, seems to be the simplest way to soft mod it, as long as you have one of the applicable games. Now, if you just click download from here and download it as a zip, you could do it this way, but this is recommended for more advanced users only. You're just going to get a zip folder full of a bunch of other things that are not necessary to the actual project. So the easiest way, and another thing a lot of the tutorials miss on, is if we scroll down a bit, there's download pre-built versions here. Click that instead. Now click here and download. This is going to pre-package everything for you. It's the easiest method, and it's the best method for people who haven't really worked with Xbox modding in the past. This will be the easiest and best method for you. Right now it's zipping the file for me. Should be done soon. It's not a big file here. I also want to do this whole video in one take. At least this section of it. Oh, it's a zip folder inside of a zip folder. It should be faster than this. I don't know why it's taking so long. Yeah, let's give it a go again. Give it another go. Just seeing if I had another copy in my download folder, and that could be the reason why. I do have another copy in my download folder. Yeah, this is the same thing here. I guess that's a simpler option right there. That's probably how I did it last time. All right. So to go back, what I did there was I just clicked on the build, clicked on softmodding tools.zip, and downloaded that one. I guess we don't really need all of these other things. The extra disk is nice if you need to burn yourself an extra disk with a bunch of other things, but it's not necessary at the moment. Once you have the softmodding tool, I'll use the one that I just downloaded instead of the one that's in the file. Extract it to any archive. I'll extract right here. Okay, that was a bad idea. Only because it made a mess out of my file. But what you really need more than anything is here in the softmod package folder. Other things that it includes. I actually don't know. I haven't messed with any of that. But what you really need is this right here. This includes the saves that you need to port over to your memory stick. So Xplorer is open here. My memory stick is open. And I'm going to go for Splinter Cell NTSC because that's the game that I'm using. But again, you got 007 here, Mech Assault, and Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 4 PAL NTSC region free. So you want to port this UData folder into there. Just drag and drop. Perfect. You got UData, you have the game save, and there it is. Now, the second thing you want to port over is the softmod save. You're going to need both of these on your card. Now that we already have a UData folder, I'm just going to open it up and take this other folder and put it in there. As you can see, this is the main mod. It takes a lot longer to inject into your memory stick. It contains all the files you really do need. All right, and there it is. Now, the rest of this is going to be on the Xbox itself, so I'm going to record it now. I'll see you on the Xbox side. So, unfortunately, my console's already modded, as you can see. So I'm going to show you as best as I can without having to, completely remove the mod, return it to factory defaults just to install the mod again. Yeah, I'm a little too scared to do that. So here's my save from my hard drive here. And you can see here you have rescue dash. Here's the two saves that you want to move over from one to the other. So you want to move the Splinter Cell from your memory stick to your hard drive, as well as the Xbox softmodding tool. You want to move from your memory stick over to your Xbox. Once both of those things are on there and ready to go, reset your console and put in the game, whatever game that you have, in my case was Splinter Cell. Start the game, go to load game, and load the save with the soft mod on it. Once that happens, your console will reboot a couple times before loading into this here. And this is when it actually copies over the soft mod into your Xbox. I understand. And there it is. That's you all soft modded. I understand. This was recorded before when I first soft modded my Xbox. I unfortunately couldn't find the video of moving over the save files or loading the game data. Now this is your dashboard now. Every time you boot up your Xbox, it's going to load up to this menu, unless you end up changing your dashboard to something else later. This is what you're going to get. You could transfer files directly to and from your Xbox and your PC by using an FTP server like WinSCP. Also, from this point on, your Xbox has no copy protection. You can burn a direct backup of an Xbox game and it will load. It will load straight from here. It'll load straight from resetting the console. Now, before we completely finish up here, the last thing I wanted to mention was a couple of Q&A things. First off, don't use my USB formatting method if you can plug a USB device directly into the cable and into the Xbox, and you're able to copy one of your hard drive saves over to the memory stick, you're good. You can skip all that. You could go straight to the Xloader section of it. That's probably the best way. The second thing is, what can you actually do? Well, I have the EMUA station here, and I also have an Xorg trainer launcher. So, first off, once your Xbox is here, it can already play burnt games. I have one here, it's Fatal Frame. It's a backup copy. Popping it in the drive and waiting for a bit, and it's initializing. But you can see there, Fatal Frame. Now, other than emulators, another thing you can do is trainers. And as far as I know, this is the only way to apply something like GameShark codes to your game. Even the action replay that was released for the Xbox was just a game save editor and porter. But this one actually gives you things like infinite health and that sort of thing. And to apply them, you just enable them, click back, press start, and they're applied. There's multiple ways to use trainers. This method here is the one that seemed to have the best results for me. But that's not the point of this. Most people are doing this so that they can play backups and save their original copies. Since, you know, they're not being made anymore, you might want to only run backups. The other thing is you can run games directly from a hard drive. However, I have not swapped out my hard drive yet, and my hard drive is way too small to even hold a single game unless we're talking about a really, really small game. Some of the bigger titles just won't fit on my hard drive, and I prefer to reserve that space for emulation and ROMs than to use it up on a single game. So I've just been using this with burnt games, and it's been fine. I keep a backup on my computer, as you've seen in one of my folders earlier in the videos. I do have a lot more backups that are on my computer. I just burn them when I need them, and I play them this way. But I hope this helped at least a little bit. I know I wasn't the best at explaining this, unfortunately, but seriously, I had hours and hours of trouble with this, especially with the Xplorer application. So I just hope that it's at least a little bit easier for you. And yeah, there's the game booting right there. You will be able to do this right away once your console is ready to go after the softmod.